Heaven plans to go live today at 9 a.m. Free live psychic. Connect with your past over loved ones. You click on that.
You're blinded by the light.
Yes, say yes.
You follow.
No, just say yes. And well, you're in the middle of putting a comment on. So if there, keep it and then click on that live, and that should take you to the live. Yeah, I can see you said that here. I haven't seen that. So you've got to click on the live, okay?
Blinded by the
On that where it says free live psychic. Connect with your past over loved ones. And you click on that and you see the video. Right, okay, gotta go, gotta stop. There's an area of chat that you can put it in there. You'll see the chat comes up. Alright? You'll see where the chat is. Look around on the screen. I've got to go. It's 11:03. Alright? You'll see the video come up and then there'll be a chat area. Are you on your phone or are you on? Yes. And then you should be able to get into the chat. But if not, go and jump on the computer. I don't understand, but I've got to go. Alright, see ya. Don't do it on the computer.
blinded by the light you follow.
Good morning, everyone. Sorry if you heard my conversation a little bit earlier. I was a bit stressed because I can't get Facebook to display the chat, and I'm not getting it either. So just bear with me for a minute. I'm not getting it on the chat settings. So it's very hard to read from the screen because I've got it minimized. So just bear with me for 2 secs. So Facebook likes to change features all the time. Unfortunately, it looks like they've changed something here. All right, I think I have it now. All right. So good morning, everyone, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. I will be doing a fairly short lot of readings today. I am going to change up my streaming software soon because I have had some issues with it. So I think I am going to stream differently to both Facebook and YouTube, and at some stage do TikTok as well. So if you are on board for any of those, they will probably be different streaming sessions rather than having joint streaming. So I want to just go through the chat just a little bit. Thank you, Carol and Mel, who are both on. I think Carol is on YouTube and Mel is on Facebook. So it's a little bit hard for me to scroll back for some reason. That's why I'm not enjoying this. So I can see, where are we? Chaley, thank you for calling in or jumping in. And Ishika, I've seen you again. Yeah, I'm actually on Streamlabs. So, and unfortunately StreamYard doesn't stream over to TikTok. So I've had a few issues. And what I'm finding is the features that work on YouTube don't work on Facebook for some reason. And they're saying that they're trying to fix the API, but it's just been a bit of a nightmare. So I can see Susie Jarvis, thank you for joining us. And I know that Chaley or Shaylee, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. You're after a spirit guide reading, and Dee Patrick, you're after Libby Baker. So it looks like our chat's happening fairly fast. So unfortunately I cannot, so I'm in, let me just have a look at this chat. The problem with StreamYard is you don't know if you've got a problem unless you're on live, and it's once you're on live, you're trying to get things sorted. So Shaylee, okay, thanks Shaylee. I can jump in and have a look. Thanks Sincere Charles. You'd like to hear any messages from your guides. So I am trying to keep track of who I'm doing readings for. As this is starting to speed up, we're starting to get more people online, which is really great, and I'm really happy that you're all joining us or joining me and your guides or your loved ones in spirit. Hi, Catherine. Thanks for joining us again. Okay. All right. So you're saying if your guides have anything to say and to thank them. So I want to just say to you, you can thank them directly. You don't need to go via me. They hear virtually everything that goes on in your head. And if you outwardly speak it, they will know it's directed at them. Like every night I go to bed, I'm like, good night, God, good night, Jesus, good night, Mum and Dad, good night, guides. Thank you for being there for me. Love you all. And that's how I say and show my appreciation for them. So it's that simple, where you can actually communicate with them just like you would us humans, and they will get it at the speed of light, which is really lovely. All right, so if you don't get a reading today, feel free to jump over onto my website, Connections from Heaven, where you can book a private one-on-one reading with me, and I can work, whether I work with your higher self, your guides, or with past over loved ones, depending on what you need at any time. All right. So, Shaylee, okay. Shaylee, they are always there. It's good to outwardly speak them, just like you would a human, so that they know directly it's not just your thoughts. I think it's more intentional. So let's see how we go. So I don't even know how many people we've got on board today. So it looks like we've got a few viewers on Facebook and can't see how many. Carol, can you have a look how many we have on board for YouTube, please? And just let me know. And thank you, Carol, for my coffee, the $5 tip. If you would like to, as we're getting busier now, if you'd like to do a donation, I will read for you first. So it'll be luck of the draw in whether you get a reading or not if someone has donated as well. So thank you very much. And as Carol said, just a cup of coffee is enough, $5. And welcome, Robin. I can see you're online as well. Okay. So, Shaylee, we'll go to your spirit guides. So, hang on. Okay, I've got my guides in. They're ready to roll. And they're saying thank you, which is really lovely. Okay, have your guides in. Okay, I'm getting fits and starts. So what I mean, like you're sort of starting, then stopping, and then starting, then stopping at the moment. And I feel like you have to be more intentional with moving forward as well. So it's sort of like you move forward, lose a bit of steam, and then you are sort of having a bit of a rest, trying to sort of rejig or re-establish whether you're doing the right thing. I feel like you want to move forward, but you're not quite assigned onto what you want to do. And this sort of feels like about quite a few different life directions for you as well, but it feels sort of more around money or work as well. So I feel like the two of those are sort of tied together, and it's like I want to do this, but you don't give yourself full permission. So I'm getting very much that, you know, you get all excited and you get revved up, and then you start to step forward, and then it's sort of like, I don't know if I'm really in this properly. And what I'm going to say, and I'll explain this to you because I think it's really important for you to understand, is that when you're trying to manufacture something in your head of what you think you want or what you think is good for your life, what actually happens is your mindset gets caught up with the what and the how and the goal, rather than being fully aligned with it, like on a soul level. And once you're fully aligned, you get your mind to actually serve that. So it's sort of like you're jumping forward a bit and you're not 100% on board. I can see you've got a little bit of fear, but it's not really going to hold you back. I just feel like you're not quite aligned with what it is that you want to do. All right, darling. So I do get this. There will be a movement forward in, I'm being shown 2. So it's either 2 weeks, 2 months. And you need to sort of sit down and work out your strategy on what you're doing. Don't do it blindfolded. I feel very much that you've got to have a strategy that's sitting in front of you. And, you know, it's sort of like, this is what I want to do. This is my dream, but you haven't got all the pieces of the puzzle together yet. Spirit will dump those on you. And I feel that you've literally got to sit down and go, is this what I'm really totally aligned with? Don't go with just what the brain is telling you to do. All right. So I feel very much that once you get this aligned, you can just move it all forward. And I do feel this is around sort of your passion. It's like you're a little bit stale with what you're doing at the moment, and you have to sort of move it forward. Okay. So it you know, one thing at a time. basically, is and move those stages forward. So make the big message for you is make sure you're aligned, okay? And because I just don't feel like you're aligned with what you want to do, okay? So Shaylee, honestly, my dreams are dead. You know, I think you need to basically pull back and just feel what's going on for you. Like, feel what you want rather than, you know, trying to manufacture something in the mind, because that's a lot of what I'm getting is it's like me sort of saying, oh, look, I want to be, you know, a doctor because that's going to earn me a lot of money and I'm going to have status and prestige and that sort of stuff. And then it not being fully aligned with who I am. But if I felt like I wanted to be a doctor and it was like my whole entire purpose and passion was to, you know, make a difference in somebody's life and, you know, be surgically orientated, for example, then it'd be like, okay, how's my mind going to get on board to learn how to do that? And what are the strategies I need to use to actually follow that life path? And I feel like you've sort of got this a little bit back to front, if that makes sense to you. I hope that helps you, Dal. I feel very much that once you reset, you can then, you know, move forward as well, okay? So I hope that has helped you. Thank you. Okay, 4 minutes ago, Susie Jarvis, thank you for using stars. I didn't even know about stars until recently. And welcome, Frank Underwood, as well. So thank you very much. Yeah. So are you feeling this, you know, that you're a healer, but I feel that you've got a step further out at the moment, Shaylee. So, and it's like the mind is not aligned fully with doing the work, if that makes sense, like stepping into this properly. So I hope that's helped you, Dal. And, you know, be determined. There's something else they've just said. All right. Now, Susie Jarvis has just used some stars, Carol. So if you can pop her on the list that's up the top. Yeah. Yeah, I just want to go back, Shaylee. You know, once you own this on it's one thing, and when we feel separated from and not aligned, meaning that our brain and our soul are not operating on the same level, we don't feel aligned. And it's like we've got those two voices. Damned if I do, damned if I don't, or if I do this and that, this one argues. And so when you're aligned, those two voices don't battle with each other, is the best way I can describe it. So your human mind is not trying to run the show, and your soul is letting you know what it's got to do, and the human mind jumps on board to do that. That's what full alignment it feels like. So, and I feel like that's all that you have to do to be able to move forward, and I'm definitely being shown too. I feel it's more 2 months. All right, Dal? So thank you, Carol, for letting me know. All right. So I do only have a very okay, and Carol, because so the stars actually cost Susie, so we're going to move up the line, or move her up the line. So Susie, if you could just let me know what sort of reading you would like, please. So you're saying for anyone that comes through for you? Yeah, you're most welcome, Shaylee. My pleasure, darling. Especially for another healer and medium, because it's really, really hard as a medium when you first start out to really fully align and do this work and have your mind release that element of judgment that's over you and that does come from other people. It took me a while to get used to it, let me tell you. And when you do this sort of work, you know, it's a real balance between how do I give up the old school thinking around earning money and aligning to this work, and then you're sort of sitting there, and it's really interesting. I was only thinking about this morning. how we battle with not enough work, not enough income, and we ask spirit for more work. But we've also got to be careful with how we think and how our thinking's blocking, how we're not manifesting that. And then it's like, oh, they're not giving us any readings. We can't live off nothing. How is this working? How am I supposed to do this work? And it's sort of like, oh, we'll just do it as a sideline, rather than stepping fully into it. And I think a lot of that is that heavy, how can I describe it? And Mel, you would align to this, that heavy responsibility of being able to do this work and transition from a very different type of work if we're using our analytical or lateral thinking sort of mind, and then we're moving over to this free-spirited mind, really, where we've got no judgment, nothing while we're doing the work. So while we're in that space, it's great. We can do it, but then we have to go back and think logically about how we're going to do that and how do we get the balance. So I think part of that balance has to come in, and I think, Mel, this will be really good for you as well, because I was channeling this morning, like I was thinking about it and I was getting some information about it. And so a lot of it is like, are we limited in our beliefs because we think that the rest of the world doesn't need this, or there's judgment, or there's opinions over being a weirdo, because we have inside information about people and whatnot. But yet when you're fully aligned and you're doing this work from a very authentic core part of your being, it's like you align with that, and the rest of it, everyone else has to learn to live with it. And if they have judgment over you, the judgment's actually on them. So we have to sort of do this with all our heart and all our mission of life. And I think that's the important part, trying to get our mind to stop making our own judgment. And then when we don't have the work, blaming spirit for not having the work, when it's actually our own manifestation. So I think that's a really important part, and that's something I've battled with as well. Yeah, okay. You don't want to do it for work. Okay. Yeah, sorry, I'm just going back in the read. Yeah, it's you know what, Shaylee, it's the most satisfying work. I just had a friend of mine I did a reading for and talked to her about stuff that was coming up and how to manage it. And she's actually going through it now, and she's like, wow, I just listened to the reading. So what I think is the most grateful thing I find is the shifts and the ease of life. People learn better skills on how to listen to their own intuition, and being able to give them inside information from their guides is just, I find it very rewarding. And I don't have ego with it either. I just laugh when I hear that, some of the stuff is actually starting to unfold. All right, so I'm going to go to Susie, if you're still with us. If you can, sorry, I'm not seeing all of the chat that's coming through, unfortunately. So Mel Johns, totally agree. Okay, I'm going to have to read some of the chat on screen. All right, Susie, I'm going to do yes because you have done some spending on stars. Really appreciate your able to do that for me. Let me just pull through. Is there anyone in particular? If so, just give me a name, Del. But if not, I'll just go to your guides and pass through whatever I can. Oh, I feel like you have a very good heart. Like very helpful, very kind, very respectful to people. You get a little bit of frustration where people don't follow through as well. I feel that you're very intellectual as well, so you've got a nice balance between the two. My guide's saying 100 miles an hour, like he's just thrown that in as well. Okay. All right. So I'm getting hop, skip and a jump. I feel like you've been patient for a long time. And I also get that, a lot of this patience has sort of been very rewarding, but it's sort of like, God, how much longer is it going to take? So I am getting that there is clear, they're showing me like clear waters. You know, when you're going down a river and it's sort of all rough and bumpy and rocks and or whatever they call those streams, and then you're going and then it comes out into this really lovely flat area. So I'm getting this sort of feeling like the hard work's been done for you and there is moving on. And what I mean by moving on, it's sort of more smooth sailing and not as fast. It's not like the water's going over a cliff. I just get this sort of lake feeling. And that would indicate to me, I know straight away when they're showing me water, this is an emotional thing for you. And I am getting like it's like you're at the bottom where the rocks are and just finishing and just coming into that sort of smooth area in your life as well. I feel like you've done a lot of work on yourself, a hell of a lot of work on yourself, and you're owning very much rapids. Thank you, Charlie. I've just seen that. Coming into that smooth area is sort of the reward for the work that you've done. And I'm getting this image where I'm laying back in this boat, and I know this is you, so when they show me it's like my experience, I'm like laying back in the boat. It's just like a little tinny. I'm on my own, laying back in the boat, feet up, sun's on, you can hear the water, like the waterfall around you, and it's like I made it, I got here. All right, so I do feel this is really lovely for you coming up as well. So you're not far from this. I think it feels like a sense of, when you retire, or a sense of retirement, that's sort of like, oh, what a relief. I've done the hard work. So I do get this sort of level of relaxation or relief that's coming, but it's an emotional relief for you as well. I hope that helps you. And is there anyone? Yeah, okay. It is perfect and beautiful as well. Thanks for that comment. Yeah, okay, go to your guides. I had that feeling anyway. All right. So, see if they've got anything else to say. I'm going to say you're a little bit dry with hydration. They're also asking you to drink more fluids. And I'm seeing like bubbly fluids as well, so and it's like an orange in color, but I can see the bubbles coming up. But I feel that this might be like a Barocca or like a vitamin that's bubbly for you, and I feel like this is something that you need to do. It's not soft drink, or what do you call it, soda pop, what they call in the States. It's very much like, I feel like it's a health drink, but it's got bubbles in it, so I feel that this is really important for you to have as well. All right, so I hope that helped you. Okay, so I do want to do, Cece, I might come back to you with Rick. Has he passed at all? Kombucha, okay. Yeah, that's funny. It's very good for you. That is gold. I love how Spirit don't say sometimes the words, but, give you the long-handed wind of it. They might give me the vision rather than the word. So, all right. So I might come back. He has passed. Okay. I might come back to you, Dale, because we do have a lot of people on online as well. So, and I do want to get to D. Patrick for Libby Baker. So you make kombucha. I think it's really good for you. However that is working, keep doing it. But definitely more fluid for you. I think you need at least 2 to 2.5 litres. Not sure what that is in quarts or where you are, whether you're in the States or where else. Okay, let's just go to D. Patrick for Libby Baker. Hang on for a sec. Okay. I've got your guides in D, so I'm just going to pass through a couple of messages first from your guides, so hang on. Okay, you're a bit tired at the moment. Need some R&R. I feel very much you need some sunshine. Get out into the sunshine more. I do feel, as much as it might be cold where you are, you do need to get out into the sunshine. Like, I feel like the sunshine's going to re-spark you. All right, Libby Baker. I've got her. Hang on. Rough journey out. Oh, she's saying thank you for the blessings. And I feel there must have been, I don't know what this is, but I feel that she's showing me like at the funeral and the words that were written, she's showing me like a piece of paper. And I don't know if this is her child that's read this out, but I feel like she wants to be really grateful towards this message that was read out. It was really beautiful, like really beautiful. And she has a really lovely appreciation for it. She's saying she's fine. She's saying to take it easy. You have to take it easy. She's saying to me like the communication breakdown and there's like a separation between the child and the male. I'm not sure that he's the father, but he doesn't feel like he's sort of in that father role. But she is talking about a separation between the two, like going different directions. She's like the child is not happy. So I'm getting this as more a female child doll. And I get very much that a lot of it's about her artwork where the arguments are. And she's saying there's nothing you can do. And I feel that you'll hear from the daughter and the daughter will be asking you some questions and it's like don't get involved. Very much don't get involved. And she's also talking about your knuckles. She wants to talk about it's like I can see, it's funny because I've got a problem in this knuckle too, but she's talking about a knuckle like on your left hand, this one here, and she's showing me like fluid in the joint, like swelling between the two, and she's talking about a powder that you need to take that will help this, and it's like a powder that's ground up. Okay, hang on. I'll see if I can find what word this is. Okay, so she's showing me it's powder that's in a capsule and it's like ashwagandha or something like that. Don't know. It's got ASH, but I can see, I think it's GANDA at the end. Ash something or other. And she's saying it's going to relieve the pressure. And I feel that you need to take this like regularly, like every day. And she's saying there's money coming to you. There's definitely money coming. And she's like, just hold tight. And it's almost like you can say, I told you so. I told you so. She wants to tell you she loves you. You were very supportive before she passed. And she's saying you burn yourself out. Like you support so many people. And she wants to tell you that the in-law will have her come-uppance, they're her words, will have her come-uppance. She's like a ticking time bomb. Like she's saying, sort of showing me time, but it's like a ticking time bomb, okay? And she's saying that you need to get out and walk more. You sort of like stopped walking, so you've got to get out and walk. And by the beach is very good for you. Even if you're freezing, go. Still go by the beach. There's lots of love coming your way, Dee. She's saying thank you to me too. That's lovely. She's saying be... I know it's about being headstrong, but be really intentional about what you want to do with your money, okay? And she's showing me 200,000, so there's a fair bit coming your way, doll. So hang in there. All right, I will leave that with you. I hope that helps you. So, Carol. So, Sincere Charles. Is there, I'm just looking at both lists. Okay, Yeah. Are they sincere, Charles? Are you still with us? All right. Are we still here? Are we? Yeah. Ishika. Awesome. Sorry, just got to wait back. All right. Okay, so sincere, I'm just going to have a look at your, I think you want guides, don't you, doll? For spirit guide, yes. Okay, let me just have a look, doll. Hang on. Oh, they're happy with you. I feel like you've been moving forward of late. And time is of the essence is what I'm hearing as well. And it's about sort of just being kind to yourself. Like, don't push yourself too hard, but be kind. And like, I feel that you're very much on track. Like, and I'm getting this sense of when I've done a reading for you before that this, that you've shifted since. So, and it's like they want to pat you on the back for it. So I don't recall what I said to you before, but I am getting that you have decided to move forward and they want to give you a pat on the back. So I hope that helps you. Hang on. And it is about, it's not always moving forward, you know, blindly. I feel like the blinkers are sort of coming off a little bit now. You're starting to get a clearer vision of what you've got to do. And, you know, this is about strength in, not numbers, but strength in, it's like knowing what you've got to do and just like, I've just got to do this. You know, it doesn't matter how hard it is. I've just got to do this. I've got to keep growing, keep going forward against all odds. Like, and I feel that you own this now. That's what they want to sort of say thank you for, because it's like you've stepped forward regardless of the consequences. You understand what I mean? I hope that, I can feel that you've been moving forward. So, all right. So I think for you, sincere Charles, is like just owning that stuff. Keep doing what you're doing. I definitely feel like you're on the right track. And I feel that you're being more clear with your boundaries as well. Like you're being more assertive with what you want rather than sort of just taking whatever's being thrown at you. So it's another pat in the back as well. So you're stepping into yourself, which is lovely. I love that feeling when I see that. So, all right. Sorry, I'm just trying to catch up. Yeah, are you still with us, Dee? Say hi if you are. All right. Just say hi in the chat. All right, who have we got next? Catherine Rhodes for guides. Thanks for joining us again. Yeah, I just want to go back to you, sincere Charles. I feel that you are doing your best to set boundaries. I want to give you a gold star. Okay, so well done. I think that's wonderful. It's nice to see, you know, like sometimes I'll do a reading and we're dealing with people with problems or they're stuck or whatever, but sometimes it's nice to actually get that pat in the back rather than the clip over the back of the head from your guides. So it's nice to pass those messages through. So keep doing what you're doing, sincere Charles. I think you're doing well. All right, so Catherine Rhodes. Okay, so Catherine hasn't responded. All right, let's go to Helen for Harriet Raper. Oh, you are there, Catherine. All right. Cool. Thanks, Carol. Always doing a superb job. All right, let's do Catherine Rhodes first. And then I'll go to Helen for, if you can just give me the list again. Oh, you have. Just the chat's gone fairly fast now, so it's hard for me to keep track. All right, Catherine. All right, I got your guides in. Okay. Still banging your head against the wall a little bit. I feel like your words are falling on deaf ears of what they're showing me, and it's like you have to repeat, okay? And I'm going to say to you, I have what I call a 3-strike policy, and I feel that this is what you need to put in place. And when we're becoming a nag, when we're repeating ourselves over and over again and people aren't listening, I think the hardest part is how do we actually get them to realise that we're serious? And I have what I call a 3-strike policy. So the first time I bring it up, maybe they didn't hear, and then, or they weren't aware of it. Then the second time they've forgotten, but the third time they're definitely ignoring you. So once they ignore you, that's when you're entitled to feel angry because you're being disempowered or dismissed on some level. So it's like then you can start to assert a new boundary around how something's going to look. So I'm getting very much that you sort of feel like you're banging your head against a brick wall with somebody, and it's like they're not listening, right? And then it's like your frustration of being sort of inadvertently dismissed in like you're not important sort of feeling is what I'm picking up. So what they're saying is like, set a new boundary here. And that can be simple as, well, if you're not going to pick up your clothes, I'm not going to pick them up and wash them. So when you start complaining about no clean clothes, well, sorry, that's not my problem if they're not in the basket to wash. So it's sort of simple things like that. And I feel like you just need to do some gentle things like that will start to shift that energy. And, it's not about drawing those really hard lines. It's like, I'm not cooperating with this. So that's the feeling of how you've got to put that boundary in. I'm not cooperating. If you're not cooperating, I'm not cooperating. All right. So I do feel that this is sort of just pertinent of, like, I would say it's even back to last week. They're just sort of showing me like to the weekend where it's like you're feeling a bit flattened because you're not being heard. And, I have this sort of thing, well, if I'm not being heard, are they really that interested in how I feel and what my side of the relationship is, regardless of what sort of relationship it is? And are they as invested as I am? And if they're not, then it's like, stop investing. What are you investing so much time and energy for? You can't, doesn't matter what you do, you cannot get somebody else into position unless you set a boundary for them. So that boundary, they need to know how far they can push. And if you don't assert that boundary, then how are they ever going to know? They're just going to keep pushing and pushing. And then, when you haven't learnt to speak boundaries or set these boundaries healthfully, in a healthy way, I should say, it sounds better, what happens is they just keep doing and you keep suppressing yourself and feeling more and more miserable. And sometimes we can't even ascertain why we feel like that. So for you, I just feel like do the three finger test. I've told them, maybe they didn't know. The second one, well, maybe they've forgotten. The third one, they're definitely not listening. And after that is when you notice they're definitely not listening, set your new boundary up and make it relative to whatever they're sort of doing. So if they're not, for example, not putting their clothes away and don't pick up their, things and put it in the basket, you make them wash their own clothes, or you just don't put their clothes back in their wardrobe automatically, as we normally do. So and even if it's to the extreme where they're yelling and screaming and whatnot, and it's like, talk to the hand because I'm not listening. I'm not interested in you speaking to me like that. If you can speak to me nicely, I'm happy to hear. But if you're going to talk like that, I am not interested in taking it on board. And the only reason why people do this is because we teach them how to treat us. So it's really important to constantly check in how you're feeling to whether you're allowing those boundaries to be blurred, and whether you're just expecting people to step up into that respectful space. And sometimes we need to teach people. Not everyone is conscious when they're interacting with us. Sometimes they've got their own stresses and stuff going on and they just blurt it out. And, you know, most of our loved ones will blurt it out because they feel safe to do that. But, you know, when they're blurting it all the time and they're broaching sort of these boundaries, we're the ones that end up miserable because we're not setting the new ones with them. And unfortunately, children are very good at doing this, and sometimes older parents, they can do that, or just people that may have some mental health issues and they're not really conscious all the time, or people that are a bit overloaded or overwhelmed. So, you know, I think it's really important to step into that place of self-owning. Okay, I hope that helps you, doll. All right. Ishika has a question. Okay, Ishika, if you can just pop your question down so that Carol can let me know what that is. So Kelsey deconing, it looks like, for Lyle deconing, and Helen for Helen Raper. I think, who was first there? I think, okay, so Helen hasn't shown up. All right. Helen, if you are listening, can you please respond to Carol? All right, let's go to Kelsey for Kyle. All right. So, Kelsey, sometimes when I'm bringing through passed over loved ones, I may not get that person right. You might have a few people, whoever jumps in front will jump in front, but I will have a look. If you can just let me know if it sounds like Lyle that you're after. So let me just tune in. Okay, my guide's happy with me. Ha ha ha, that's cute. All right, who do we have for you? I've got your guides in. So I've got somebody here that is a man, I would say, in his 50s, looking at him. He's got like a little bit of grey on the sideboard, short back and sides, well, a bit longer on top. Brown hair, but a bit of grey around the sides. I feel a very emotional man, a heartfelt man. And I feel didn't want to leave you behind, very much didn't want to leave you behind. Felt like there was words unsaid. And like he's showing me a bit of a frown in his face, like he was a bit cranky before he passed away as well. So, and I feel this is a father or a grandfather figure, doll, if you can identify with who this is. All right. Yeah, okay. Thank you. I'll keep going. Once I know that I've got the right soul, because sometimes we can have a few people, you know, well, I call them people, they look like people to me, a few spirits that come in, and you might just have one that's a bit pushier than the other. So, but I can generally pull them through. All right, showing the heart area, I do feel that he had some heart issues before he passed away. Not a person to burden anybody with anything. I do feel like he loved you, but he hasn't had, I get some form of estrangement between you, and hasn't had the ability to reconcile things fully. He does want to say that he's sorry. Okay, he's blowing you a kiss. I can see him going like this. That's really lovely. Okay, saying that there'll be reconciliation when you pass. I do feel that you're going to pass very late in your 90s. Couple of health hiccups, but you're going to get through them, he's saying to me. So you're not to worry when you're doing it. It's like you will feel a sense of panic, but he's saying you're not to worry about it. Like you've got a very strong core, and you've got a strong will to live, he's saying to me. And he'll be by your side. He'll literally be by your side. He's saying to me that you're crying now. Okay, and he's saying that the reconciliation will, like, he will try and be by your side to actually help you through things, okay? And what I mean by this is that there's times where you feel very alone in the world, and he just wants to let you know that he's actually by your side. He's showing me like a glass of water on your bedside table, and like the water sort of moving as well. Okay, so he's showing me you must be in because he's referring to earthquakes and earthquake area as well. So he's just sort of referring, and he's also talking about like planting and gardening as well. So I feel that must be your thing as well, not yours, not his. And it's very, what's the word? Sorry, my brain's just gone into brain fag. It regenerates you. So I feel it's a very good thing for you to do. Very lush green grass and plants as well. All right. So I'm getting very much that he does want to be by your side. Like it's like that now, because he can see who he is now. And I do get that he hasn't shared everything with you, and there was shame that he carried, and he does want to reconcile this when you pass. Okay, so he will be there. Talk to him. He'll help you through. I get a really like musty smell from him as well. So I don't know whether he just didn't wash his clothes or something before his passing. Like I'm getting this really sort of quite musty, I would call it almost a stench, okay? And it feels like, you know, didn't really help himself before he passed as well. So I really hope that's very healing for you, Dal. I know sometimes when we've got parents that didn't always step up for us, and then they get in spirit and see how they've failed you, and this parent of yours definitely wants to be around, right? So he wants to be around you. So I get that this will be a really healing sort of process for you. I hope that helps you. God bless, Star. So I'll just read some of your chat. He was a hairdresser and had lung cancer. Really hope my father is bugging you. He talks like Donald Duck. That's funny. He always tried to brush his teeth, even on his last days. Yeah. So I feel like he's a really heartfelt guy. But just didn't share everything with you. Like he kept a lot on his chest. So, all right, darling, I hope that's healing for you. He does love you. He is around you, okay? So just talk to him whenever you need help. If you need street directions or, you know, help with any problems or anything, just, you know, looking for your keys, ask him. He's around you like 24/7. All right, darling. All right, Carol, where's the list? Let's have a look. Let's do Ishika. No, if you can see anything happening between me and Ish and going ahead. Let's have a look now. All right, I got your guides in. All right, I'm getting very much start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. So I feel with the start, stop, and then I feel there's flow. So and I'm going to say don't try to make this into something more than what it is at the moment. Pardon me. I'm getting that you're sort of trying to push this like a wheelbarrow to deliver what you want, sort of to manufacture what you want or construct what you want. And I just get that you're doing a lot of pushing. You've got to sort of sit back and let this happen around you, because I feel the more you push, the more you're pushing them away. All right. So, just be careful of neediness. That's what they're saying. So it's very much like, just pull back and allow this to grow into what it's got to grow into. Not, I feel like they're just showing me, just I'll get some funny images. It's, when you get sort of like pottery mud and it's like you're sitting there trying to shape it and it's like, it's too wet and it's sliding everywhere. So the way they're sort of showing me is you're trying to sort of force it into the thing that you want, and it's not quite there yet. And I feel like he's not quite, Ishan is not quite getting, like, I'm picking up that that's a male, by the way, or very masculine energy. And it feels that he's not quite sure of what he wants. It's like you've just got to let him breathe a little bit and let him sort of come into his heart space. So I hope that helps you, Dal. All right. Yeah, just going back to Kelsey. Yeah, I don't think he brought all his heart to the table, even though he had a good heart. I don't think he brought all the heart to the table, and I think you've missed out on a little bit of TLC from him, and that's like a lot of that reconciliation that will happen later for you. Just know that he's already in that place of wanting the reconciliation, and when you get there, you'll be able to reflect on your life and your part of that contract that both of you have made, and be able to sort of move forward in that healing sort of energy. It's really funny because I had a dad that didn't really show up properly for me, and I've done a lot of that work now, knowing full well that he wanted that, because it's sort of like if we do that release, they're free to go and have a journey with somebody else rather than having to repeat things so that we learn. So I have absolutely no pain whatsoever attached to my dad at all. So, and the more that we can do that work while we're here on this planet, in our physical bodies, and really get into our heart space and see them from God's eyes or the universe's eyes, and see that they come down here with their own lessons and everything else that they've got to learn and their own journey. And rather than taking it too personally, I know that's a hard place to get to, but the more spiritual you become, the quicker that process will happen for you. So hope that helps you, doll. All right. Ishika has a question, so I've just done that one. Thank you, Carol. You've been super good today. Marine Line Hashi, it looks like, for Marie Jeannie Austin. Okay, let's have a look. We will finish up shortly, so we'll see if we can get Stephanie in for your guides as well, doll. So feel free to share and like and share my profile to any of your friends that may want to jump on, or family that may want to jump on for a reading as well. Okay. We'll see how we go, Susie, to bring through Rick. All right, let's do, I let the guides sort out who's coming through so they know what they're doing with my intent. All right, so we're trying to bring in Marie. I'm sure that's Jeannie Austin, so hang on for a sec. Okay, I feel this lady was quite a vibrant woman, and I feel like quite the lady as well, like quite, would look after herself, a bit well-to-do sort of personality. And I feel a very full woman. She could be a little bit, if you can just clarify, this is the lady, like I feel that she had sort of quite the hair when she was younger, but then she's had sort of quite short hair, or I'm seeing sort of very short hair around the side and a bit longer here, but I do get the feeling that this is a lady that's got sort of hair cut into the back of her neck, but I get this sort of air about her that is very sort of a bit upper class, or she was well educated and spoke highly of herself. and others. Like I'm getting this sort of, I would sometimes call them toffee-nosed people. So I'm not sure where you're from, Marie. So what I am getting that this is a lady. So if you can just, if you're still online with us, if you can just let me know if this is Marie Jeannie for you. All right. Not sure where you're on. All right. We'll see how we go, Stephanie, for your guides. I love doing these readings. So, not sure how far delayed the chat is. Hi, Susie. Hi, Stephanie. All right, if Marie, are you on? I'll come back to you, I think, if you, I haven't heard from you in a second. Marie was on Facebook. Let me just have a quick look. She doesn't seem to be responding. So what's interesting is I'm not seeing all of the Facebook stuff coming through the chat, unfortunately. So about 30 seconds. Wow, that's bad. 30-second delay. Okay. Andrea, thank you for joining. I've just seen you say you're supposed to get a reading from you a week ago. The best way is to jump on early. So, and because I have to do things in order. That's just the way it is at the moment. And jumping on late because I'm just about to finish, jumping on late is if you jump on early and pop your name down, then it'll work. But I will be online again soon, and I'm not sure when I'm scheduling things. I've got a bit of travel that I'm doing, and I'm moving house in the next few weeks, so it'll be a bit hit and miss, but I will still try to jump on. All right, I can't see where Marie is online. She hasn't replied, so let's go to Stephanie, Dale. I'll see what your guides have got to say, Dale, and we'll connect in. So just a sec. Okay, I've got your guides in. Okay, so I'm hearing pull and shove and be kind, like be kind to yourself and be kind to others. And I feel like it's a very direct message, like very we're telling you how it is sort of message. And I feel this is very much about like treading carefully around making your demands. And it's almost like when you make a demand on somebody, it's don't sort of get this feeling where they're going to come through, because I feel like you're going to be let down. That's basically how it is. It's like get your ego out of it and start talking to the people where you're asking them. And I don't mean this in a negative framework. What I'm getting is that this is very much like you have to do the work yourself. Don't expect somebody to do all this work for you. So I hope that is a bit of a direction for you. They're sort of saying that expecting or expectations on everybody else isn't going to get you the results that you want. All right. So sorry, that's pretty hard comment, but I do feel that you need to sort of step back a little bit and reframe things to get what you want. That's exactly how it's being shown to me. So I hope that's helpful, Stephanie. All right, Carol, I can see you said she's a new Facebook member, but I think the Facebook members have got to be at least 2 weeks old. So do you know how new she is? So Andrea has been on for an hour. Oh, no, I've been on for over an hour. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. Thank you. Does that help you, Stephanie? Is there anything else you want me to ask? I know that sounded like a really big clip over the back of the head, but I think what's going on is that the best way I can say it is come from your heart with what you really want. Ask and ask in a way that it's not that it's not expected. It's the way I've sort of got it is that you've got to sort of ask in a way that it's sort of like coming across like you can get, the old saying is you can have anything that or get anything that you want if you know how to ask for it. So that's a really good way of putting it. So don't just expect things as a given when you ask for it that it's going to come, because I feel like you get let down all the time. And it's like relying on somebody else for that fulfillment is not going to give you the fulfillment that you really need. So I feel like you've just got to look at this from a different angle. It's not like a criticism. It's like try to see your power in what you're asking for. And if they say no or they disappoint, don't fold in on yourself. Okay, it's very much like you've got to sort of step into who you are and own what you want in your life. Don't sort of see the power externally. I hope that helps you, Dal. All right. Let's see if we can jump in for Susie Jarvis. She's been very patient. Thanks for staying on. Some people get their reading and just leave. So, all right. Yeah, so Andrea, generally what happens is you have to put your name or comment that you want to hear from somebody when you first join. And join the chat, and then Carol, if she's on, she will then let you know, or she'll let me know in the chat who's in what order, so that I don't have to scroll back on chats, because I'm doing this on Facebook and also on YouTube. So I just want to go back to Stephanie's comment. All right. So sometimes our ego can get in the way of us understanding things. That's why I sort of went in to explain that a little bit more. So it's don't see the power externally, I think, is what that message was really all about. And it's like you've got to own your power. If you really want something and someone doesn't give it to you, find a way to do it for yourself. Find a way to have that. Don't give up, and don't then, feel like you're worthless because people aren't giving or meeting your needs. I think that's a really important message for you, Dar. All right, let's go to Susie Jarvis. I'll just see who comes through for you, because you've got 4 people, Dar. So just wait for a sec. I'll just pass through whoever comes through first for you, Susie. Okay, got your guides in. So I'm getting a bit of a freedom-loving, easygoing, carefree sort of younger guy. And I feel like he's got brown hair, but it's sort of like a bit windswept around the face. Bit of a cool dude. When I say cool dude, he sort of doesn't let the world bother him, but I also feel he's a very, very deep thinker, deep feeler as well. But I feel like a bit of a clown, like didn't value life very much. Can you identify who this is, Susie? So I'll just wait for that to come through, but I'll pass through whatever I can show. I can also see a man there as well who was fairly easygoing bloke as well, but different sort of easygoing, bit more of a joker, clown. I got corrected, clown. You got no idea who that is. Yeah, perhaps might be somebody. I would say he's sort of maybe in his 20s when he's passed away as well. He feels like he's like, you know how surfer dudes that are like beach bums, they how they don't stress about too much, but just do their own thing. It might be somebody you went to school with, very straight up and down. Like I'm even seeing him like in a pair of swimmers. Yeah, you clown, you do know. Yeah, I've got him coming second, so let me just pull him through. But I'll push this one aside. But you'll probably identify later who this is, because I can tell you that whoever shows up for you will be for you. So, and it might be something that he wants to contact somebody else. So I don't know if you've got a partner that has lost a brother or a best mate. I feel that something around 18 as well. There's a pertinent time around 18. So, and I feel like he died unintentional, but at his own hands, if that makes sense. So, yeah, past person on this. Yeah, I think someone, he's been from way back. So, but, you know, come through. Yeah, okay. All right. Now, the other chap that you've got sitting there, like I feel like this guy would make you bust sides laughing, as the saying goes. So you'd have stitches laughing. And I just feel would do things to entertain people as well, like a pretty nice bloke. Didn't want to leave the world. He was quite happy to be here and entertain everybody. But I also feel like he had a different side to him, that he was a bit flattened, sort of. I don't know. I think he was a person that always needed to be around people, like needed to have his fingers in the PowerPoint of life all the time. And if he didn't, he'd feel the complete opposite. Like, you know how, God, I can't think of his name, the guy that did Mork and Mindy. I'm having brain drain and I'm not hearing it from spirit. Anyway, how he seemed really happy guy and then sort of had a quite a deeper side to him. That's what I'm getting. I feel this is serious and religious. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I feel like there's a deeper side to him, and, you know, this other side's like a bit of a mask that he Williams is what I've just heard. So that must be his name. So I'm getting that he is he was quite shocked when he passed away. He's like, didn't think it was going to be so beautiful. He's saying to me that you're very headstrong. And he's like, you've found your way. I'm proud. You found your way. I'm very proud. Okay. He didn't expect to pass as quickly as he did, but he's saying to me it's really beautiful. And I feel like he's been close to his mum, okay, and he's been able to spend some time with mum. He's just gone quiet on me. Hang on. Okay, and he's talking about, like, I find this a bit funny, but he's sort of saying it in jest as well when he's doing it. He literally is like, sometimes you open your mouth and words come out and then you want to swallow them back in. It's like you're not got the gift of the gab, or you sometimes don't use you don't always use your words so eloquently, is the way he's sort of saying it. And but it's said in jest, so I don't get that. It's not like he's having a dig at you. It's like he's sort of like having a laugh at you. All right. So but there is a lot of love. I can feel a lot of love coming from him. He has also he's talking about another baby coming into the family as well. All right. It's a little boy. So do I say a lot? I don't mean to. It's like that word you use when you're filling up the blank. He does love you heaps. He's talking about a spot or your nose and needing, like you're really conscious of your nose. It's like you've got a spot or something on there that you want to get fixed. And he's having a laugh. And he is also saying you have to be cruel to be kind. Like, you don't have to be kind all the time. Like, you've got to teach some lessons, all right? So I hope that helps you, Del. And he's also showing me, I don't know what they call it, what we have flannelette shirts made out of in that crisscross pattern, like a plaid sort of, I can't think of what it's called. He's showing me those as well, so that must have been his favourite attire, I would say. Yeah, okay. So, true at times, yeah. Teach people how to treat you, definitely. So, all right, darling, hope that helps you, and know that he's around you. He's quite a funny guy. I like his energy. Yeah, he's easy going, but I feel like he's also got a very deep side to him as well. So, all right, I'm assuming that's your dad. I'm getting dad energy, but not. He wasn't that old when he passed. His energy's quite young still. So, all right, guys. Well, I'm going to sign off. I want to deeply thank Carol and Mel for helping us online today, and thank you for those who contributed. Susie, thank you for your stars today. And, you know, I really appreciate anyone that has been with us today. If you have missed out on a reading, feel free to join the next live. I will be doing some more lives soon, and I will be able to do you first if you're first in line. So very soon, if we start getting bombarded with a lot of people, I will probably start looking at whoever's shared my posts the most. So I just want to read through a couple of comments before we finish. You're most welcome, Stephanie. I love what I do, and I think it's, it is a gift in some ways. When I say it is a gift, it is, but it's also no different than what a musician does and plays music. So, you know, I look at it as a calling, I guess, of what I'm meant to do, just like a doctor would find their calling, or a pet sitter would find their calling with what they do and what they love. So, all right, guys, so if you missed out today, please join the next live, and and make sure you let us know that you're on the list so that we can put your name down and we can hopefully get to you. All right, guys, blessings to everyone. Thanks again, and we will see you again soon. Bye for now.